Hey, everybody, welcome back to the podcast. You're listening to the longest running superhero role playing game on Earth, also known as the Continuum Chronicles. As always, I'm your host, Chris Kent, the Game Master, or GM for short. And today we're going to be talking about my Transformers RPG. But before we get into that, smash the like button, ring the bell so you know when I upload stuff, and make sure you're subscribed. We've got a great community coming together, and it's all thanks to you guys. So thank you so much for being here. All that said, let's dive into the story. In the ancient tapestry of time, when the Earth's surface was a canvas painted with hues of emerald and gold, three intrepid Autobots ventured forth on a mission to locate Optimus Prime, their beloved leader, as well as their most prized possession, the ancient matrix of leadership. Among them stood Bunker Buster, a stalwart warrior whose courage knew no bounds, Praetorius Maximus, a beacon of strength and resilience, and Draconia, a majestic figure whose time with her friends was shorter than anyone here ever expected. Their quest to find the missing starship called the Ark led them through the primeval landscapes of prehistoric Earth, where towering cliffs loomed over verdant valleys and seemingly bottomless caves whispered ancient secrets. As the Autobots pressed onward, their senses keen and their resolve unyielding, a sinister presence stirred in the shadows of the wilderness around them, casting a pall of darkness over their path. Enemy robots emerged from the depths of the jungle, their metallic forms gleaming with malevolent intent. Metallic black, purple, and chrome hues adorned their blocky exteriors, a stark contrast to the vibrant tapestry of the natural world around them. Transparent golden cockpits, remnants of their former vehicular forms, hinted at their origins on the distant world of Cybertron. But these Decepticons look different now. Their idento computers have apparently scanned some sort of giant prehistoric Earth insects and adapted them to the native terrain. Bunker Buster, Praetorius Maximus, and Draconia braced themselves as the Insecticons multiplied before their very optics, their numbers swelling with each passing moment. With a collective hiss, the Insecticons advanced, their crimson optics burning with malice as they descended upon the unsuspecting Autobots. With a thunderous roar, Draconia transformed into her formidable robotic dragon form, her metallic surface gleaming in the sun as she soared into the sky. With a graceful arc, she descended upon the ranks of the Insecticons, her razor-sharp claws slashing through their numbers with deadly precision. Meanwhile, Bunker Buster and Praetorius Maximus stood firm on their ground, their weapons primed and ready for the coming onslaught. Buster's cannons blazed with righteous fury, sending volleys of energy blasts tearing through the swarm of Insecticons with devastating force. Praetorius, his towering form a beacon of strength amidst the chaos, charged into the fray with unyielding resolve, his massive fists pummeling the enemy with frame-shaking impact. But the Insecticons were relentless in their assault, their numbers multiplying with each moment. Wave after wave of metallic insects descended upon the Autobots as they sought to overwhelm their foes through sheer numerical superiority. Draconia, her movements fluid and precise, danced through the air with unmatched grace, her fiery breath scorching the ranks of the Insecticons with searing intensity. With each blast, she carved a path of destruction through their ranks, her draconic form a whirlwind of death. On the ground below, Bunker and Praetorius fought valiantly against the relentless tide of enemies, as they held their ground against impossible odds. Despite their best efforts, the Insecticons pressed ever closer, their unyielding assault threatening to overwhelm the Autobots at every turn. The air crackled with tension as the two factions faced off, steel against steel, in a battle for supremacy. With a primal roar, Draconia descended upon one of the Insecticons, her powerful jaws clamping down, snapping him in half with a resounding crunch. The Insecticons recoiled in horror and fury, their leader issuing commands with cold, calculated precision. They swarmed around Draconia, their metallic bodies pulsating with malevolent energy as they pinned her to the ground and revealed they brought a memento with them from the old hometown, the insidious Robo-Smasher. The device whirred to life, its mechanical arms snaking around Draconia's form as they began to tamper with her neural circuitry. Despite her valiant struggle, Draconia found herself succumbing to the dark influence of the Insecticons, optics flickering with a malevolent red glow. Under the thrall of her captors, Draconia turned on her former allies with savage ferocity, her attacks fueled by twisted rage. Bunker and Praetorus fought valiantly against their former comrade, their hearts heavy with sorrow. Amidst the chaos of the battle, Praetorus reached out to Draconia, his voice filled with compassion. Draconia, remember who you are. But Draconia's once noble demeanor had been tainted by the darkness. With a thunderous roar, she unleashed her fury upon her fellow allies, her allegiance now firmly aligned with the forces of evil. Buster and Praetorus fought valiantly against their brainwashed comrade, their hearts heavy. Despite their best efforts, they found themselves outmatched by Draconia's power and ferocity. And as the dust settled and the echoes of the battle faded into the ether, Draconia stood victorious. As the smoke of the battle cleared, the once mighty Autobots, Buster and Praetorus, lay sprawled on the battlefield, their frames battered and broken from the onslaught of Draconia's betrayal. The shadows of defeat loomed over them as they lay unconscious amidst the debris of their hard-fought battle. Time passed. From the distance, the rumble of engines echoed through the silence, drawing nearer with each passing moment. Two figures emerged from the darkness, their forms illuminated by the faint glow of their optics. Hoist, a sturdy green alien tow truck-like vehicle with a kind demeanor, and Grapple, an orange crane whose strength belied his gentle nature. Hoist says, "By the Matrix, look at the state they're in." Grapple says, "Poor fellas don't stand a chance out here. We need to get 'em back to base, pronto." With a synchronized effort, Hoist and Grapple carefully lifted Buster and Praetorus onto their frames, their movements gentle yet determined, and with a rev of their engines, they set off towards the towering figure of Omega Supreme, whose massive base mode loomed on the horizon. Hoist and Grapple hauled their precious cargo towards the alien fortress guarded by its gigantic red and gray tank. With a sense of urgency, they laid Buster and Praetorus before the entrance, where Perceptor, their resident scientist, awaited their arrival. Perceptor said, "Oh my, what have we here? Looks like we've got our work cut out for us." Perceptor gets to it, his skilled hands moving with precision as he begins to assess the extent of their injuries. As the repairs progressed, Bunker Buster and Praetorus Maximus stirred, their optics flickering to life as they slowly regained consciousness. With a groan, they rose to their feet, their frames still weak from the battle, but their spirits somewhat lifted by the knowledge that now they were among friends. Buster weakly said, "What happened?" Hoist replied, "You two had a run-in with the Decepticons. They really did a number on you." Grapple says, "But don't worry, we've got you covered. Perceptor here will have you fixed up in no time." With a nod, Buster and Praetorus turned towards Perceptor, grateful for his skillful ministrations. As the repair bay hummed with activity, the atmosphere within Omega Supreme's base mode was tense. Buster and Praetorus knew that their encounter with Draconia had changed everything, and now they awaited the arrival of Ultra Magnus, the highest-ranking Autobot in their midst. With a commanding presence that filled the room, Magnus entered, his optics scanning the Autobots with concern. His towering frame exuded authority, testament to his years of service and dedication to the Autobot cause. Ultra Magnus said, "Bunker Buster, Praetorus Maximus, report." Bunker and Praetorus exchanged a somber glance before stepping forward to address their superior. Bunker said, "Sir, Draconia encountered Robo-Smasher on the battlefield. She's no longer one of us." Ultra Magnus's optics narrowed in concern. his expression grave as he processed this news. Praetorius Maximus said, "The Insecticons, sir, they brainwashed her. She's a Decepticon now." The weight of their words hung heavy in the air, a stark reminder of the ever-present threat posed by the Decepticons and their insidious methods. Ultra Magnus's gaze hardened with resolve, his determination unwavering in the face of adversity. "Understood. We must act swiftly to neutralize this threat. Where is Draconia now?" Bunker replied, "She fled the battlefield, sir. We were unable to pursue." Ultra Magnus nodded, his mind already turning to strategies for confronting this new threat. "Understood. Then we will mobilize our forces and track down Draconia and these so-called Insecticons. We can't allow them to wreak havoc unchecked." With a firm nod of acknowledgement, Bunker and Praetorius stood ready to follow Magnus into battle. Ultra Magnus assembled a strike team consisting of Blackbird, a stealth Tetrajet, Bunker Buster, Grapple, Hoist, Praetorius Maximus, and Trench, a tank. The gathered Autobots stood ready to follow their commander into battle against Draconia and her legion of Insecticons. With a nod of determination, Ultra Magnus addressed his comrades, his voice ringing out with unwavering resolve. "Autobots, today we face a formidable foe, and it's up to us to stop them. Are we ready?" Praetorius Maximus said, "Ready, sir." Bunker Buster said, "Ready to roll." Hoist said, "We're with you all the way, Ultra Magnus." Grapple said, "Let's show them what we're made of." With a rev of engines, the Autobots rolled out, their weapons primed and their spirits unyielding. As they advanced towards the battlefield, the ominous silhouette of Draconia and her swarm of Insecticons loomed on the horizon. Ultra Magnus barks, "Stay focused, Autobots. We must work together to defeat our enemies." The mighty battle cry, the Autobots charge into the fray. The battlefield erupts into chaos as metal clashed against metal, the ground trembling beneath their feet with each thunderous impact. Praetorius and Buster fought side by side, their teamwork unmatched as they unleashed a devastating barrage of attacks against the Insecticons. Hoist and Grapple provided support from the rear, their strength and ingenuity proving invaluable as they aided their comrades in battle. But Draconia was a formidable opponent, her draconic form towering over the battlefield as she unleashed her fury upon the Autobots with relentless ferocity. With each swipe of her claws and blast of her breath, she struck fear into the hearts of her enemies, her allegiance to the Decepticons evident in every motion. As the battle raged on, Ultra Magnus squared off against Draconia, the once noble warrior now twisted by the influence of the Decepticons. As the battle reached its climax, Ultra Magnus seized the opportunity, his movements swift and precise as he delivered a decisive blow that sent Draconia crashing to the ground with a resounding thud. As the dust settled and the echoes of the battle faded into the distance, the remaining Insecticons scattered, their once fearsome ranks now broken and scattered in disarray. The Autobots watched as the Insecticons scurried into caves and crevices in the stony ground. With Draconia defeated and the Insecticons in retreat, Ultra Magnus and his comrades wasted no time. Draconia was taken back to base. A sense of solemnity hung heavy in the air. Draconia, once a noble warrior, now lay unconscious on the examination table, frame battered from the battle, her mind ensnared by the insidious influence of the Insecticons. Perceptor approached Draconia's inert form with a sense of trepidation. With delicate precision, he began examination, his optics scanning her neural circuitry. Perceptor said, "This is worse than I feared. The damage inflicted by the Robo-Smasher is extensive. I'm afraid I cannot repair it." The weight of his words hung in the air, a grim reminder of the darkness that had taken hold of Draconia's once noble spirit. With a heavy spark, Perceptor turned to his comrades, his expression grave. "We have no choice but to place Draconia in stasis until a cure can be found for the damage done to her brain. It's the only way to ensure her safety as well as the safety of others." With a sense of sorrow and resignation, the Autobots gathered around Draconia's stasis pod, their thoughts filled with hope for a recovery. They activated the pod, and as it hummed to life, the Autobots watched with a mixture of sadness and determination. Though their comrade lay dormant for now, they knew that they would stop at nothing to find a cure for her affliction, to restore her to the heroic warrior she once was. And that was it for that game session. This one did not go as planned. Draconia was played by one of our players, and she was very upset that her character had turned evil and was not cured in the end. In fact, she was so upset she quit the group, at least for the time being. That said, role playing is a game, and like most games, there's always a chance that you will lose. And unfortunately, the dice just weren't on our side this time. Um, if there was no chance of losing, then I would argue that there would be no thrill in winning. I, for one, hate being railroaded, so I will go out of my way to not railroad my players. So if the dice say that the hero loses, then the hero loses. At any rate, despite the fact Draconia got brainwashed, I still thought this was a good story. Hopefully you enjoyed it too. If so, remember to smash that like button, make sure you're subscribed, ring the bell for notifications, and leave a comment. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye.